Hey guys, it's Grant. I want to take y'all through some grip stuff so you can work on just getting better control through your hands and your fingers and your wrists and your arms. And that way you can connect with power when you interact with the world and with control and confidence. And I really highly recommend that those who do like yoga, those who do powerlifting, climbing, um, parkour, anything really, it's going to help you, especially those who don't have like pull-ups or hanging exercises in their routine. That's like a lot of my forte, although there's still many people out there who are much better than me when it comes to just crazy body weight strength. But I want to show you some stuff that I've picked up and I've been able to apply from those crazy people, and also just from some of my own messing around with body weight and with different equipment that you can use. So really look to the strongman lifts, look to the strong lifts, because those exercises, they have a lot of stuff that really just overall gets you focused on the movement and also focused on just building body strength through a particular kinetic chain in your body. So say I'm holding a weight like here, say I'm holding this lacrosse stick out here, I can build that energy that I feel through here, and I can as it goes into another position, I can start to understand that flow of that movement, and also just how you need to have the strength for that movement. And strong lifts are really awesome to watch too. Just Google different strongman stuff and like creative stuff, and like all the old time strongmen and people, they have so many cool like ideas for their exercises. So grip strength is really not just about the grip, but the extension too. You want to balance both sides of the kinetic chains of muscles and ligaments, because if we think about just the muscles, yeah, they get sore and then they rebuild after 1 to 2 days, but your ligaments will take longer to heal. Your joints will have a little bit more stiffness in them after the first time you do some of these exercises. So it's really stuff to kind of take at the pace of your body. Don't do it again until your body is healed from it. Just listen to your body and ask yourself, should I do these exercises and these movements for that day? If you're feeling like you can't produce power, or you can't push your endurance, then either do half of the workout or some of the workout that you would do, or just skip that day and then ask yourself that question the next day, and maybe do some other exercises and movements to get yourself to stay moving and everything. So I want to start with a warm-up that I usually do, and I go like this. It's a figure 8 with your wrists, and I loosen up my wrists like this, and then I go the other way. So it's like, whoop, whoop. Let me get that sun out of there. So you can loosen up your wrists to start. And then I like to stretch my wrists, kind of like this. And you can do this on the ground as well. And then the other way, and you can stretch the fingers. Just extend your elbow. And then you can shake out your wrists, and you can kind of do this with your fingers, do some extensions, kind of play around with your knuckles a little bit, stretch them out. I like to kind of push them against the ground and just like roll them out, and then extend. and then spread and contract like that. And that way, then you just shake out the rest of your arms and you get into whatever upper body warm-up you should do, which is usually some pulling motions, some pushing motions, some rotational stuff. So the kinds of animal movement that I showed you yesterday. And then you can get started. The first one I want to show you is just essentially a hang. So you can hang on here on this. Right, good. And you just want to, you can start with a negative pull-up, and that'll help you start to get those muscles engaged in your back. And you see I'm keeping the rings nice and tight to me. That's so I have maximal engagement of my latissimus dorsi. So this is the first step to get better on pull-ups and hanging, because it's honestly a lot harder for some people to do a dead hang sometimes because they only have a certain strength and a certain range of motion. It really depends, but the other one you want to work on is just lifting your legs. And you can obviously do this with enough space to fully have your whole body extended. And it helps if you do this different ways. So don't just do it this way, do it with full extension of your whole body. And you can also work on that for one-arm hangs. If you're having trouble getting just a one-arm hang like this, then you can get another ring or pull-up bar or whatever that's a lower height tree branch, and you can just hold on to that and have it assist you. So I could use the ground like that, or my feet. I could try to lift my feet like that. And then the next thing we'll do, we'll talk about body rows. If you can't do the pulling or the hanging like that, then you just want to get a lower branch, or invest in a pair of grip slings or a towel that you can put on a lower surface or tree branch, and then you can hang from these, having your body fully extended, grabbing as low as you can to get somewhat of an angle from the ground, and you just pull up. And you can do a lot of different variations. So you could lift a foot, you can go wide. If it's too hard, get a little higher. And if it's too easy, try to get as low as you can. So that's one thing you can do with the grip slings or rings or TRX. I have TRX as well. So you could do those. And then working on your finger grips, let's show you this next one. So I'll just show you from here. So this grip you can put in 4 fingers, 3 fingers, 2 fingers. So really, if you take that, apply it to a wall or a ledge that you can find and hang on, and that might be helpful to some people too, because it kind of, if there's a wall there, then it'll kind of keep your body still. So a lot of people, sometimes they jump on the bar and they're like swinging around, and that brings them off because they don't know how to stabilize from that position. So really what I'm just talking about is any grip that's like that. And then you can experiment 3 fingers, 2 fingers, 1 finger. And once you get that far, you've got it in the bag. Oh, there's my notebook. So you can work on that. You can work on your false grip, which is basically just if you're on a ring or some kind of grip that you can get like this kind of position with your wrist, then that'll help, especially with muscle ups. If you're doing muscle ups on a ring, you can do false grip on like a large branch like this, kind of getting your hand over the branch, and that's just like, that's wrist strength mostly, more than your finger strength, but it's still grip strength. It's still considered that, because you're hanging and you're gripping onto something with that. You can also take odd objects like this grip ball. You could get a bigger one like this, and then you really have to kind of wrap your hand over the ball. And I also have this, which I grip it just like this, and then on the bottom hand it's basically like just kind of tucking in my elbow, so I'm as close as I can be to this object. And if you want to cheat, you can put a finger or 2 on the top, even like go like this, and then you can work on the other hand on the bottom and switch it up, because something like this is really hard to just grip just basically like that. Because imagine it, if you had a ledge and you gripped under the ledge, it's basically a similar kind of grip, and the friction is like not working in your favor. So that's another thing, like my tan line. So you can work on your finger grips, false grips, odd grips, like I just showed you with this. You can get a towel and you can put that on a pull-up bar or a tree branch. As long as it's sturdy enough, just use that towel. You can grab both sides so it doesn't fall off. Or if you have the right kind of towel, you could even tie it around sometimes. And yeah, you can basically do a lot of stuff with that for grip. Get 2 towels, spread them out. You can do wide pull-ups like that. I like to spread out these grips, so I have another of those right there. So it's right there and right there. You can just kind of get a really wide grip and challenge to kind of swing up to it, because it's kind of high off the ground. And like I said, I recommend a towel or maybe these grip slings. These were $30. The rings were $30. Both good investments. The parallettes, which I will get to, those are pretty cheap. You can make them yourself. But let's show you what I like to do with those. So here I have the parallettes set up, and basically most of the exercises you'll have to start with will start from this position, just getting your legs lifted off the ground. And this will help balance all the hanging stuff too, because it's this way and this way. Just imagine you can push this way, you can pull this way, you can push this way, you can pull this way, as well as everywhere else around you in space. So this is one position you can start with, is just lifting your knees up, trying to get your body kind of stacked and vertical. So as opposed to here, you want to get here, and you can get in those other positions, like for instance from L-sit can spread your legs. You can have one leg out, and then you can go to planche. And that one, you just have to start with leaning into it. You have to really lean and have your hands this way. So have your hands almost under your hips, so that you can put that pressure on your joints that are stacked, and you just basically levitate. So that's another exercise, and as long as you're gripping these, it'll challenge you a little bit. You can also start with crow stand on these, and straighten your arms too, and do your whole handstand, press ups. You can kick into a handstand and just bail out by essentially just turning to the side. So there's a bunch of things you can do there, and the same things you can do there, you can also do on the rings. And you can also check out some gymnastics rings videos. There's a lot of people who can do handstands and planches and everything on the rings. And it's really impressive, but the first step to get to there is you actually put your feet on the straps as you're pressing into the handstand. So you just press your feet into there, and you basically use that to support yourself. You might have bent arms, but you just get used to that stabilization. And that's a long journey, but the rings are very rewarding when you commit to that. All right. Another way you can work on grip strength is, and core strength really, this is making it a little more complex, but you can work on your transitions. So I have these set up on a slack line, and it's kind of designed for that. But if you work on just the hanging, and then trying to grab on like so, and just moving about, you'll notice very quickly that you have to be aware of your whole body, your lower body, especially where your feet are, so that they don't touch the ground, and that you just get kind of really into the rhythm of the moving line, and also just moving one to the next. This is called the ninja line. You can look it up, but you could basically have that same challenge on a supple tree that you can set these things up on, and they kind of move a little bit as you're on there. Or you can just monkey around a tree. Just do lots of tree climbing. That'll really challenge you. And my advice for tree climbing is always have 3 points of contact. So like whether it's your foot, or even your shin or your knee, your hip, your elbow, your hand, like just 3 points of contact on the tree most of your climbing. Sometimes you might have the strength to have like just pull yourself up, or like kind of balance and walk on the tree, but that's just a point of advice and safety from my experience, is just go through it slowly, don't do anything crazy or stupid, and just follow your breath, follow your intuition, and be safe. So yeah, those transitions are just like really hard, and that'll also challenge your grip in a lot of ways. But really work on your grip first. Build that up with lots of pull-ups, lots of hangs, lots of pulls from like a towel or some other equipment, and that'll help you. And another way, another exercise that it's actually a lot easier than what I just showed you is this. So you get your feet on here, and one hand and one leg moves like so. And you can go both ways. You can use your elbow, hang out. And once you get into the crazy ninja stuff, you can start using your elbow and your shoulder to actually hang on to things, your knees. But I wouldn't recommend that until you really establish a really good flow and strength and discipline with just the basics through your hands and your feet for most exercises and movements. But as you get more aware of everything, it'll really help. So that's it. I hope that helped, and